Hey there! This day was extremely uneventful, so I'm going to make this one really fast. So, starting with the diet update, I weighed 147.4 pounds. That's up zero point 0.2 pounds from yesterday, probably because I didn't really exercise at all yesterday. Quite sad. Moving on to the meals eaten, I had a chorizo and egg and cheese burrito with a carb balance mission tortilla. Next, I had a bag of Harvest Snaps onion and sour cream rings that I actually split with my mom, and I also split another bag of Quest lime and chili chips as well. Next, I had an A&W Zero Sugar. 2 of them, actually. Afterwards, I ate 3 hot dogs. 2 of them were in keto-friendly breads that had mustard, mayonnaise, ketchup, onion, and jalapeno on. And a bit of queso cheese, string cheese on top. Not string cheese, just shredded cheese. Really good. And then just the third hot dog was just, nothing was on it. It was just a third hot dog. And a cup of coffee with 2 espresso shots. I also had a cup of coffee earlier today, and then a third cup of coffee, which actually was the second cup of coffee after the first one. Confusing talk aside, that's pretty much what was eaten, other than a little bit of the steak leftovers that were in a glass container in the refrigerator. Just a little bit, not a lot. Oh, and some chicharrones with all manner of different sauces on. Now that we have completed what was eaten, we can move on to what was done for exercise. And I went on a 1-hour-long walk with my mom around the neighborhood, spending very valuable time with her. Now we can move on to the daily update, and don't worry, this one's going to be very short. So, when I woke up this morning, I was asked by our family friend to help bring her wheelchair up into the house using a ramp. She had just returned from a trip, and she needed help bringing her wheelchair into the house. So I did that, and afterwards, I decided to take a shower. When I was done with my shower, our family friend made a chorizo, egg, and cheese for me. I ended up warming up a carb balance mission tortilla and put the mixture in the tortilla and wrapped it and ate that. It was pretty good. I find the Mission Carb Balance tortillas to have the most flavor, and what I mean is they taste the most like a normal tortilla, and less like a weird low carb version. So I appreciate that. And after that, I decided to contact my dentist's office to see if I was still on for a scheduled appointment at 3 o'clock today. But when I finally opened the number and was trying to call, the number wouldn't go through. I thought, wait, why would the number to the desk not come through? That doesn't make sense. So I tried another number, and that did not go through either. And I tried my mom's number, and that did not go either. So I was like, what the heck? What's going on? So I pulled up ChatGPT. I asked, hey, I'm pretty sure I have autopay on, and I have my phone carrier is supposed to respond to when the payment goes through, because today was the day I made the payment. But for whatever reason, I'm not allowed to call on the device I'm using. And basically what ChatGPT said was, basically what happens is like the service and the bank are like having difficulty making a handshake. Maybe it's because your phone is like on a connection and needs to go off and on the connection in order to re-verify that the payment's going through. So it's some weird technical issue. So I decided to immediately put my phone in airplane mode to take it off online and then put it back on regular mode. And as soon as I did that, phone service once again worked. So thank you, ChatGPT, for helping me solve that issue. Well, now I was able to call the dental office, and I found out they told me that I wasn't scheduled for an appointment today. So I honestly don't know why I got that call like a few days ago from like it wasn't the same office. It was another dental office. Like it was like the same company, but it was like their main headquarters instead of the specific office building that they're running from, if that makes sense. And for whatever reason, I remember like they scheduled me for like from the previous phone call for like braces, but like to inspect if I need braces. But I mean, A, that's not covered by my insurance, so that would cost money, which I'm trying to save right now. And B, it was confirmed by my official dentist office that I did not have an appointment like that lined up. So yeah, I didn't need to go to the dentist today, which I was grateful for because I gotta be honest, I did not feel like going to the dentist today. Then afterwards, I asked the lady on the phone if there was any possibility I could move my date for the extraction of my wisdom tooth, which is that one right there. That looked weird. Anyways, because apparently it's growing in a way where it's like I was shown the X-ray where it's pushing against my other tooth, and if it continues to allow to grow, then it could cause me some serious pain or harm later down the road. But they scheduled me for the 23rd of January. And the thing is, there's two things actually. One is my birthday is on the 30th of this month, and I honestly would prefer celebrating my birthday without a having to endure like the pain of a missing tooth. The other thing is that the 23rd just so happens to be a cheat day for me too. Like I only go on cheat days once every 3 weeks. Unless it's like a holiday season, of which I forgo it for like, sometimes like 3 or 4 days, and then like with Thanksgiving, and the other times like 12 days, as was the case with Christmas, or it was like 13 days, I think. So, these cheat days are a really special thing for me that I really would want to enjoy without having to worry about not being able to enjoy them due to an extracted tooth. So, I asked if I could reschedule that appointment for February, and they allowed it. So they rescheduled it for February 26th at 11 a.m. So I guess I'm locking that in, and now I have to mentally prepare myself for that date, because, oh my gosh, it's not going to be fun. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do this video for that day. I'm going to try if I can, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to sound like this or something, Or heck, maybe I'll just like pantomime and have like subtitles underneath the whole video. Not exactly sure. I guess I'll figure something out. Yeah, but I was able to reschedule that, and then I put the phone down. I decided, oh yes, I did laundry before doing my shower, before eating, before doing the phone call. And when I was finished with the phone call, the laundry was done and being washed, so I moved it up to being dried. And then my mom arrived, and she wanted to go on a walk with me for an hour around the neighborhood. So it's like, okay, let's do this. I'm ready. So she decided to eat first, and while she was eating, I remember I went into my room and I played on my PlayStation 4 a game called Scrat's Nutty Adventure, because it was like a really simplistic and chill like 3D platforming game. Like it's nothing really special about it. In fact, there's a lot of things really rudimentary about it. Like the combat system has no feedback. Like there's no vibration. There's no like special animations. There's no like combo moves that make things more visually interesting. Like, and I know it's a licensed kids game, but if you're gonna make the enemies super easy and the fighting so repetitive, then just have the enemies go down in one hit and just make that one impact feel really satisfying. Like I'm thinking of the SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom or the movie game, where like when you hit an enemy, you felt in the vibration of the controller. It was just one hit. The enemy launched away, and at most, and you got a good feedback, like the animation of the character getting hit from your character you were playing as attack was very tactile looking, and thus it made it feel like there was serious impact. And there's no serious impact with this game, Scratch Nutty Adventure. Every enemy you fight, it just feels so airy and nothing burgery, where you just hit the fight button again, and it just switches different animation poses, and the enemy looks like they're getting hit and they're knocked out, but it doesn't really feel impactful at all. And it just is like, kind of like, meh, I guess he's getting hit. It doesn't have that, gritty feel of something like a movie game or Battle for Bikini Bottom, which is a shame. But when it comes to the visuals, I think the visuals are nice because it's naturey environments that are really pleasing to the eyes. And while yes, the music isn't anything to write home about, it's a really generic orchestral score. Something about the generic orchestral score and the like nature sounds and the nature environments all culminate into something that just kind of is a cozy experience, if that makes sense. Like it honestly, if the basic platforming was like the only thing they had in the game, I think it'd be a perfectly adequate experience. If they made the combat more interesting, it would be a above average experience. Like, oh, I mean, sure, it's not the greatest game in the world, but what it's trying to do, it's doing well, and I appreciate that. But because the combat drags it down a bit, it does become kind of an average experience. And I mean, sure, the platforming isn't anything to write home about, but it's simple and basic, but also kind of like, you know, relaxing and cozy, I guess is the best way I could put it. I like it. It's got a good feeling about it. But anyways, after I was done playing a little bit of that game, my mom was ready, so we went on a walk around the neighborhood, talking about just various things, enjoying our time together. Eventually, we arrived back home, and when we arrived back home, my clothes was done getting dried. So, but before I could do that, I remember that my mom wanted me to hang out outside. We were drinking sodas and we were trying to figure out a place to go for my birthday, like a restaurant. And we were looking through Yelp for a while, trying to find like a place that looked appealing. I ended up I found two places, you found one, and they all looked pretty interesting. Like one is a Korean fried chicken place that looks kind of fun and delicious. Another one is a pizza, or well, not a pizza parlor, more like a Italian restaurant. That looks pretty good. And the last one was a kind of a standard all-in-one diner restaurant that supposedly has the best burgers. They say that in the advertising. And I do like me a good burger, so we do certainly have quite a few options to choose from. We'll definitely consider what to choose when the time comes, but we have been able to narrow it down, which is nice. But of course, we're not going to strictly stick with these options, but they just give us a clear idea of what we're what I'm specifically looking for. So yeah, that was what happened. As we were looking, we were snacking a little bit with the Harvest Snaps and the Quest chips and the sodas, and then finally, I said I was gonna do some folding of my clothes and putting them away. So I went in my room, I turned on the TV, I put on a Digital Foundry video where Alex Battaglia and Oliver McKenzie were talking about their experience at the show CES. And I was having that as like a little background noise to play while I was folding my clothes and putting it away. Nothing too interesting or crazy I remember from what they were talking about. Other than, I guess, DLSS 4.5 is kind of compelling, but sadly it does introduce some input latency to the final image resolve depending on what graphics card you're rocking. And weirdly, there are some graphics cards that seem to be more powerful than others that weirdly like have more input latency. It's a bizarre issue. I'm not exactly sure why that was the case. And then, they went on talking about just different display technology and like how they thought some of it, the things they were showcasing, were just extremely gimmicky and silly. Like, whoa, we've created complete blackout light avoidance on some of these screens, so there will be the light will not interfere with the visual quality of these displays. When in reality, most of the time, if you're watching a screen, you'd probably be watching it at a darker environment, right? You would be watching it in the midday unless, like, I don't know, I guess you're watching a sports game or whatever, but I don't really watch sports, so it wouldn't really fit my needs. Like, screens I look for are ones where I'm like, is it good enough? Is it clear? But does it also have, like, is it like OLED? Does it have great black levels? Is it a display that just is pleasing to look at? Is it at least 4K? Things like that, that your basic modern expectations of what you'd want a decent display to be in this day and age is, what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for gimmicky things, But anyways, so yeah, I was just listening to that while folding clothes and putting it away. Eventually I was able to do all that. I remember I was hearing like a meow out of the window, and I wanted to inspect it at the same time my sister wanted to inspect it, and we found it was this cat that we call Imposter Cat that looks a lot like our recently deceased cat, Avery, but with a shorter, stubbier looking tail. And yeah, he's just been recently just hanging around the house a lot lately. Not exactly sure why. Maybe like he thinks he owns the place because the king of the household is gone now, Avery, so not exactly sure what's going on there. But he gets into some scuffles with the other cats, I'm sure of it. Because one time he was limping, so he got beaten pretty good, it would appear. Next, I remember I went back, continued folding, and then I felt the need, or well, not the need, but the want to go out and play the Indiana Jones and Great Circle game that I got from our family friend for Christmas on my PlayStation 5. So I removed the X-Files Season 1 Disc 1 from the PS5, put it away, then I put the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle into the PS5, and before I started playing, there was I put a chair in the room, and yeah, I sat as close to the TV as I could. I was doing all this while our family friend was getting inspected by by our doctor, who was paying a visit. And we did have a little scuffle a little earlier, but it was just about like trash being left in the den on like the couch, and we were like, "You should throw away trash." Like, it's my trash to throw away. It was a ridiculous argument that made no sense. It was dumb. And it's really not worth bringing up other than this much. So moving on. Um, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I was playing this game for a while. I'd say like a good hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm still early in the title where it was like I'm in Italy, and I was like exploring different areas and trying to figure out what exactly to do. There was one area I found where you have to go in the window inside one of the buildings, and then you have to meet this guy where you buy a camera. Then you've got to take pictures across the location where you need to show them to a guy in like a church area where you and him kind of have to discover what's going on and come to a conclusion of what to do and where to go next. And once you do that, you find a solution where you go into this like catacomb area and have to solve these puzzles having to do with Jesus and his like I think 5 different wounds he got. And now I'm stuck on this part where like it's him on the cross, and like there's different like levers and different parts of the mural in the game, and you need to move them to like 1 to 4, and it's I honestly don't know exactly what the game wants me to do right now. Like what do like originally I thought, oh, you have to pay attention to where the golden circle, because there's the golden circle in the other murals is, and then you pay attention to the number that's revealed after you pour the wine into the bowl, and then you just match the number to the corresponding location that the golden circle is circling in the mural, right? I thought that's what it was, and I attempted doing that, but it I didn't get anywhere, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. This is one of those things where it's like I'm gonna go for like 10 more tries, or and until like I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna look at a guide and see what's going on. Like I usually give it my absolute best shot before I eventually just give in and look up what to do next. So yeah, but we'll see. Maybe I'll be able to solve this in the near future. And yeah, I kind of, because I couldn't figure out how to progress through the game, I got bored. So I turned off the console, and then our family friend wanted to show me and my sister this old movie that she used to watch. I think it was called Sinbad and the Seventh Voyage. And the cool thing about this movie was that it had stop motion creature effects done by a really cool guy, animator known as Ray Harryhausen, which I actually have a book for Ray Harryhausen that I read religiously way back in middle school. And I even lent it to my sister, and like it was gone for a while until I eventually got it back from her. But yeah, I was just fascinated by the fact that before computer animation existed, the way they did special effects for fantastical creatures was doing stop motion, and then sort of like superimposing the stop motion creature over top the live action footage to create a convincing sort of effect of live actors interacting with the being. And it's movie magic, movie making magic at its finest. It just, something about it is 10 times more charming and fun and interesting and cool than if like everything was computer. Probably is going to be AI really soon now with how advanced that technology is getting. Yeah, just the idea that some guy like made these models and made them move so he could like have those creatures like be seen interacting with live actors. It was really cool and really novel and a lot of fun, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a neat little trick, and yeah, and the movie was like you're just a straightforward adventure story. Like nothing too crazy. There were some things that I would consider to be kind of problematic in the film, like basically. But I guess it was the sign of the times, and also what the way like people saw like you know certain cultures at that point, which was sad. Like for example, like this guy decides to sell his um his own son and daughter for like 400 somethings to Sinbad, which yeah, it's pretty messed up. Um and yeah, I think Sinbad was like supposed to be Middle Eastern character, but he's being played by clearly a Caucasian guy who's has makeup put on to make him look like he's Middle Eastern. I mean, he still did a good job acting, and the ultimately the whole point of the characters that when they were bought were to be freed, and chosen to be what they want to be. But the lady in the movie who ultimately gets freed says, "I know no way but to be a slave," and it's like, oh my gosh, this is kind of some crazy messed up stuff. But I guess it was like just a little wrinkle in the story that made it kind of interesting. But overall, I would say, other than some weird things like that, the movie was had some fun effects and was an interesting adventure tale with a few weird caveats. But yeah, I enjoyed most of it for the most part. Moving along, after we're done watching that, my mom, who walked in when we were like a little over the first quarter of the movie, stuck around to watch the rest of it. My sisters watched the first quarter only to take a shower and then only watch the last quarter of it. And I think I think I was the only one who watched it from beginning to end all the way through, while our family friend, because she'd already seen the movie before, would take frequent bathroom breaks and come back while the movie was playing. So yeah, out of everyone, I think I was the only one who saw the entire thing from beginning to end. Yeah, and then everyone dispersed to do their own thing. I did 20 minutes of my brain jam editing. In fact, I really only did 10 minutes because I actually finished a rough cut of it. Yippee. But now I was rewatching it with a more critical eye to see if there's anything I can do to make it better. Obviously, there's a few things I can think of to make it better. Here's a few things I can think of. One, add more visual aid to make what I'm talking about easier to understand. Well, and also more entertaining. And two, add music or sound effects to make it feel a little more interesting and engaging and textured throughout. Because it's just me talking, and I don't know, maybe adding like a little bit of background music. Like, that's not overbearing, but just like kind of adds to the ambiance. It would probably be a good idea, because otherwise it would just be kind of being droning on and on. But if I'm saying things and there's things happening on the screen that are relevant to what I'm talking about, that help demonstrate what I'm talking about, then I think that would be great. And yeah, so next time I do my editing tomorrow, I think I'll just go through the footage again. I'll find parts where I think I could add some visual aid. I think I'll just draw it out, and then insert it into the video. I think that'd be kind of fun. And yeah, then I'll add music. And I think then the final touches would, of course, be credits. And yeah, I think then the episode would be done. So that's pretty cool. I think it's got a decently long way to go. Maybe I'll this episode at this rate will probably be finished by nearing the end of this month, maybe 10 days from now, if I'm consistent with my 20 minutes a day, which so far I have been, but we'll see. But yeah, after I was done with that, I decided to do some line drawing, some contour line work. This is what I came up with. If you can't tell what's going on, that is headphones on top of a drawing book on top of a metal tin colored pencil container on top of a journal, which I have been neglecting to write in for the last 2 days, on top of a goal-oriented book, which I don't know why, but I just don't really feel motivated to write into that. And then that's on top of the Animator's Survival Kit, which for some reason I put paper drawing on there instead of just the name of the book. Not exactly sure what I was thinking there. And then another larger sketchbook under that, and a bunch of pens, and that's a napkin. That's my phone. I was listening to a guy review projectors. That's the SpongeBob Burger King meal container with Mr. Krabs container next to it, on top of a vinyl player. That's the mirror. That is my drawing Wacom tablet for my computer hooked up. That's a little bit of my computer. That's a basic rendition of my wireless keyboard. This is my desk. That's a cup with a light attached to it. That's supposed to be a chocolate bar that I haven't eaten in like 2 years. And that's a copy of Infinite Jest right there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I drew. So yeah, pretty interesting. And I think that's gonna have to do it for now. Time is 1:48. Man, I really need to go to bed earlier. Well, anyways, I'm glad I was able to get this done. I am going to go to bed very soon, hopefully before 2 p.m. So thank you for watching. After it's done doing the line work, I decided to record this video, but before I was about to hit the record button, my mom stopped me and let me know that our orange cat Malcolm was hanging out in the room with her, and if I wanted to see him. So yes, of course I did. So I went to see him. I pet him. He smelled like there was a little bit of pee on him for some reason, which was gross. So we're definitely gonna have to give him a bath tomorrow morning. That's definitely gonna happen. And then I went back into my room and recorded my update video. And that's pretty much the day. So overall, yeah, it was an okay day. Could have been better. Yeah, I think it could have, but was it terrible? No, not really. It was sort of just like all okay. It was just okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night, and take care. See you tomorrow.